Now, should DJ Akademiks leave Complex? So, if you don't know who DJ Akademiks is, DJ Akademiks is the biggest hip-hop news commentator on the entire platform of YouTube with over 1 million subscribers. And throughout these past few years, Akademiks has been building a big name for himself on here. And while his authority and power on YouTube has been growing, Akademiks linked up with Complex to do their highly successful Everyday Struggle show with Nadeska and Joe Budden, where they basically discuss the hottest topics in hip-hop and pop culture. Now, there's a big discussion about if DJ Akademiks should leave Complex, and in this video I want to talk about exactly that. First of all, why is this even a discussion? Well, to keep it real, I think we've all noticed the group dynamic in the show Everyday Struggle. We have Nadeska, who's kind of the middleman, who's trying to keep the discussion cohesive, keep it flowing, and keep them on track so they basically get through the whole show without sidetracking. And then we have DJ Akademiks and Joe Budden, two very opinionated characters in their own way. And what I like about Joe and Akademiks is that they're so different. Even though they have very different opinions on the music they discuss about, at the end of the day, the outcome of the show is just all around successful. But one thing we can't ignore is Akademiks' place in Everyday Struggle. So let's not lie to ourselves, without DJ Akademiks, people would not watch Everyday Struggle. I mean, of course, there would be people watching it in the sense that there would be viewers, but there would not be as many people watching it and it would not be as successful as it is today. But the brand Akademiks has been building for himself these past few years as a credible source who gives real and honest opinions about everything that's hip-hop related. And in that way, his audience feels really connected to him. And ultimately, that's why he is the biggest hip-hop commentator on YouTube. Now, a lot of people say that Complex is hurting Akademiks' brand, and to that I say yes, I completely agree with you. Keep in mind, Akademiks went from never being seen by the public while he had hundreds of thousands of subscribers to being one of the main hosts in a show that a multi-million-dollar company owns, which is Complex. People didn't really even know what Akademiks looked like 2 years ago, and the way Complex benefited from this is that Akademiks used their platform to kind of reveal himself. And of course, only that really brought a lot of subscribers, views, and attention to Complex, because obviously DJ Akademiks had a big following before he linked up with Complex, and his audience really want to know how he is in person, so they're gonna watch Everyday Struggle because Akademiks is on it. So, about the whole Complex is ruining Akademiks' brand situation, one thing that I really dislike about Everyday Struggle is how Nadeska and Joe Budden always seems to discredit and underestimate DJ Akademiks' platform. So I want you to watch this clip right here of a very intense moment in Everyday Struggle, and I'm gonna give my commentary in between, but if you want to watch the entire clip without my commentary, link in the description, but I'll play the clip right now.
I'm talking beyond the context of music. Beyond the context of music.
Well, so not talking hate speech. What about people's personal lives?
What do you mean?
You do talk about people's personal lives. That's not music.
Okay.
It's not hate speech. I'm just saying, hate speech was not a good example.
You have.
He talk about a lot of niggas and he don't talk about music.
So that's a very unnecessary comment in my opinion. I mean, just because Akademiks makes a video on something that's happening in a rapper's personal life doesn't really deflect from the fact that he actually talks about music in his videos. All the people Akademiks talks about are musicians or involved in music in some type of way, whether it's a rapper, a singer, a producer, or a manager. So bringing up a point like that where you're highlighting something like a rapper's personal life is just completely unnecessary. At the end of the day, it's music that he talks about because they are musicians, but let's keep watching.
You very rarely talk about music. So now
whoa. He does talk about music. I'm just saying sometimes. No, shut the fuck up, both of you. Seriously.
Says
me. You talk about music and their personal life.
Wait. Where are y'all telling me I talk about what? I have a platform. Have y'all seen my last 20 videos? Yes,
all right, let's move on.
Cut it. Stop.
No, you're not cutting shit right now.
Stop.
I don't really understand why you would want to interrupt Akademiks when you know that he's about to bring up a valid point. Have you watched his last 20 videos? That's a valid question. Because essentially what Nadeska and Joe are doing here is speaking for Akademiks in a way that makes it seem like he doesn't talk about music, which of course he does. And that's gonna make him look some type of way since he is involved in a show about music. And now Akademiks is up there looking like a fool. And this is exactly what people mean when they say that Complex is ruining Akademiks. But anyway, let's keep watching.
Y'all can't just
Joe said that. Joe said that.
Have y'all seen the last 20 videos I have made? Yes or no? If y'all haven't, shut the fuck up.
You throwing
That's
shit.
facts. So y'all think I talk about certain things because y'all don't listen. Y'all not informed. Listen, y'all can't be speaking on shit just like y'all tell me not to if I'm not informed. Y'all not informed on what I talk about.
And again, Akademiks has a valid point. If you are not informed on what he does, then going on a platform that millions of people follow, which is Complex, and trying to speak for what Akademiks does without actually having the proper information, that's just gonna mislead a lot of people. And notice how none of them really were countering what Akademiks said because they know that they're just plain wrong. And you could see how Akademiks was really speaking with conviction. He just doesn't want his platform to seem like a joke because it's absolutely not. Or are we gonna talk about the whole situation with the Migos? Yeah, you already know what I'm talking about. Wrap it up, Dan. But the fact is, Complex were kind of throwing Akademiks under the bus on this one. Because if you don't already know, apart from that interview with the Migos was actually edited out. And this is something that Akademiks has talked about before himself.
Let's be clear, man. You see, listen, I don't want to throw any shade or any disrespect at Complex because I have had an issue with this particular thing with Complex, and Complex has been nothing but understanding. They understand, and a lot of them agree. They're not with the editing shit either. You know what I mean? That's some fucked up shit. That's some other shit happened. You get me? So I don't want to throw Complex under the bus. But to insinuate, listen, it's Joe and the producers that had this shit taken out. Like, let's keep it real, man. Listen, they try to tell me why this shit was not in there. Basically, from what I saw, homie, which is P from Migos, or not Migos, but QC, he tried to press Joe. That footage is out. You try to dap him. That footage is out. Other shit, that footage is out. The only footage that is in is the footage where I'm asking, and it's the most awkward question because we can't hear each other. And this is the thing that frustrates me too. If we edit out all that shit, why not edit out the part where I'm not asking the nigga the same question 5 times because I'm not trying to play him. I really can't hear him, and you know this because you're here with me.
I can't really say for sure if the intention and the purpose of doing that was to make Akademiks look bad, but he did look really bad because people were calling Akademiks a pussy. And so was the person who was supposed to stand up for Akademiks in a time where 90% of social media were clowning him, but that person instead decided to call Akademiks a pussy too.
Going off Akademiks' timeline.
Akademiks is one of the biggest pussies I've ever seen in my entire life.
But
he should never comment on anything that has to do with physicality.
but we knew that already.
We gotta realize that Akademiks is not with Complex for the money like a lot of people are saying. Of course, they probably are compensating him very well. But if you know anything about Akademiks and the way he approaches making his content, money is the last thing on his mind and the integrity is #1 for him. But to the question, should DJ Akademiks leave Complex? I really think he should, and why am I saying that? Because Akademiks doesn't need Complex. It's actually the opposite. Complex needs Akademiks because he is their #1 competition. Do you really think that Akademiks is gonna beat Complex? How are you gonna beat the enemy if you sleep with the enemy? Doesn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, I'm just an outside voice analyzing what I see. And who knows, maybe Akademiks really has a bigger vision on how he wants things to go. But what do you personally think about this topic? Do you think that DJ Akademiks should leave Complex? Or do you think that he should not leave Complex? Let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about bringing together people like you who enjoy music and start a discussion on different topics like this. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at BlackieSpeaks, and I'm out.